welcome to my weekly review for Raw and Smackdown. So for Raw, it was 10th of June 2013, and for Smackdown, I believe it was, can't think in my head, I think 14th of June 2013. So anyway, the Raw started off with a good match. The much promised match, Triple H and the Curtis Axel rematch. Well, kind of, but basically at the start of the match, Vince McMahon came out with shades of Montreal 97 and told the timekeeper to ring the bell and pretty much end the match. And then Justin Roberts announced that Triple H had lost by disqualification, and pretty much Triple H wanted to restart the match again. Pretty much the match continued. Excuse me, my voice getting a little bit dark. But anyway, the match continued until Vince reappeared and then ended the match again, with Roberts announcing that Axel won by forfeit, and then Triple H attempted to kind of do some kind of Iron Man match, but it pretty much made Vince McMahon even angrier, and pretty much he would take the microphone and the ring bell to the back. And after the match, Triple H and Stephanie argued about Vince. I would give this segment a pretty disappointing, because it didn't really have a really good match or a good controversial kind of moment. So I'd give it not really much actually. 1.5 stars out of 5. Kane beat Dean Ambrose. I'll give this match because it was another DQ defeat for a member of the Shield. Pretty much Kane won, and Kane beat Dean Ambrose. I would give this match 2.5 out of 5 stars. Damien Sandow vs Sheamus has been announced as the opening match for the Payback pay-per-view, and it was announced that Daniel Bryan will be facing Seth Rollins later on Raw. And then pretty much The Miz defeated Cody Rhodes. This was a pretty good match. It was a good back and forth match. I give this match 2.5 out of 5 stars, same as Kane and Dean Ambrose. But it's been announced that Mark Henry will be returning next week. Chris Jericho came out to have a go at CM Punk, who was again absent. And then Jericho was interrupted by Dolph Ziggler and AJ and Biggie Langston, and then this led to a match with Jericho and Langston. Chris Jericho defeated Biggie Langston in a pretty much a good match, defeating him with the code breaker. This was a pretty good match with a lot of interruptions by Ziggler and AJ, but after the match, Ziggler and Del Rio stared at each other to build tension, and then Del Rio got involved in the match as well to help Jericho. But I'd give this match 2.5 out of 5 stars. So far, it's not very interesting show, but Antonio Cesaro versus Sin Cara. In this match, Antonio Cesaro looked very good. He looked very good. This pretty much he beat Sin Cara, and I like him because I want him to be Intercontinental Champion, or probably United States Champion. I want him back on the top, and probably beat Wade Barrett or someone. So he looks good, but I need him to win some more matches. But I give this match a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Daniel Bryan defeated Seth Rollins. This was pretty much probably the match of the week. It was a very good match. It was probably a very, very, very good match. Probably the only interesting thing that's even on Raw. But basically, after Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns match, which went to a no contest, Bryan defeated Rollins fair and square with a roll-up. But pretty much it was a very good match. I would give this match a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Damien Sandow defeated R-Truth when Sandow defeated R-Truth with his new finisher, which is called the Silencer. So I give this match a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Backstage, Triple H and Vince met in Stephanie's office, and the basic premise was that Vince felt like Triple H was too big to battle someone like Curtis Axel, so if he wanted to wrestle Curtis Axel, he could do that next week. And Triple H then agreed with Vince and turned down the Axel match, and then the two then argued about something else, and then until Stephanie came in and asked for a group hug. Pretty much one of the most baffling segments in WWE television for quite a while, in my opinion. But anyway, the main event was John Cena and Ryback building towards something, like we're building towards the whole final segment. It wasn't a very good segment, but Ryback was on the stage and Cena was in the ring surrounded by lumberjacks. After a few verbals, Cena tried to rush towards Ryback, but then was kept on getting thrown back into the ring by lumberjacks, and then Ryback eventually kind of rushed towards Cena, and then the show went off the air with lumberjacks desperately trying to hold Cena and Ryback, and it was a this segment wasn't very good. I'll give it 2 out of 5, but it wasn't very good at all. So overall, disappointing show. To be honest, it failed to actually build up much excitement to the upcoming pay-per-view Payback. So it wasn't a very good show, but in my opinion, it would be very scary. What's the word? Scary proposition to imagine this Raw show right now without Daniel Bryan or the Shield, because the two Daniel Bryan and the Shield doing a hell of a job. They're stealing the show, and it would be very scary for them to not be there and just let Cena and Ryback get all boring. So pretty much we're expecting CM Punk to return next week, and actually on Sunday for Payback. But yeah, wasn't a very good show. So I'd give the whole show, I'll give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't very impressive at all. But Smackdown was very good, actually, a good main event. Anyway, so Smackdown was actually very interesting because of Daniel Bryan, Shield, Randy Orton, and everybody else. So yeah. But Daniel Bryan started the show talking about Ryback. Sorry, not Ryback, Payback. Sorry, I get confused with Payback and Ryback. But anyway, in Team Hell No, started talking about Payback and Team Hell No, and then Kane comes out. They argue eventually, and then Kane tried to chokeslam Daniel Bryan, and Orton comes out to save, and then they all argue until the Shield interrupts, and then pretty much nothing really happened with the Shield cutting a promo about beating Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan at Payback, because Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan will be teaming up against the tag team champions Shield up in Payback. Sheamus defeated Antonio Cesaro, which was I forgot to give the ratings for the opening segment. The opening segment, I would give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars because it was a little bit funny with Kane telling Daniel Bryan, "Are you breaking up with me?" which was a pretty kind of silly, kind of a silly, kind of funny, humorous kind of a quote, but yeah. But anyway, it wasn't a very good segment, but it was pretty funny. And then Teddy Long puts over the Hardys. Ziggler, AJ, and Biggie interrupt him to complain about their match, and then Biggie steals his burger. Wasn't a very funny thing, but anyway, Heath Slater defeated Great Khali for some reason, and won with outside interference by the rest of the group, the 3MB. And then Del Rio and Jericho defeated Biggie Langston and Dolph Ziggler, and Ricardo was saying that Del Rio's name get a bigger pop, and then Del Rio himself, and then Jericho gets a giant pop. It gets a giant reaction when coming out, and then Ziggler comes out to decent heat, which kinda AJ's crazy chant was a bit very loud as well. About 2 minutes, good back and forth kind of matchup, but it was a 12-13 minute kind of match with Del Rio pinning Ziggler for the in a roll up, and then Jericho was interviewed about his match versus CM Punk, and he puts their match over, and then Heyman appears and puts Punk over and says Jericho will lose, and Jericho hits Heyman in the mouth with the mic, and nothing really happened, to be honest. And then Curtis Axel defeated Wade Barrett, and then Wade Barrett actually tells Heyman that they should wait for Sunday to fight, because the Miz interrupts and makes fun of them, then gets a good crowd chant of fight. So they fight, and then Curtis Axel accidentally runs into the Miz, and Axel does a little bit of a swinging neck breaker on Wade Barrett from the ropes for the win. 4-minute match, and then the Miz hits Axel in with a skull crushing finale. Team Hell No and Randy Orton defeated the Shield. Finally, the Shield has lost fair and square. It was no DQ, nothing. Team Hell and Randy Orton have defeated the Shield. Big pops for all 6, and then the crowd was completely crazy over Orton and Bryan. And Kane sidesteps the Reigns spear, choke slams Ambrose, and leaving Orton to RKO Rollins from the ropes, and Daniel Bryan to make tap out to the no lock, and then the Shield loses their first 3 versus 3 match, and it was an insane pop after their win, and then the 3 were celebrating. So pretty much a good show. I'd give this show a 3 out of 5. Haven't really been doing any shout outs, but so here's one for there is one channel that I would like to give a shout out because they personally asked me to give this shout out. They're actually my friends in real life right now in school, but their name is TelescoPESniping. So if you're a fan of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, why don't you check that channel out? It's TelescoPESniping. It's a bunch of group of people on Xbox, so you can play with them. And they're pretty good. I've seen their videos. They're pretty impressive with some good tricks and trick shots and that stuff. So if you wanna if you're a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 fan, if you like some interesting little sniping shots, I'm not really sure, then check that channel out. That's the channel you should see. So yeah, that was my shout out to TelescoPESniping, and yeah, they'll be doing some really good videos in the future. So go subscribe to them. And that's all time I have for today. So rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Until next time, peace.